But before we get to the question, I think one of the statements that's in the question I was going to ask is from my feeling, Agile is still here, but I think it's against the ropes. I think it's falling flat. I think it's in a stage that AI will be in about 2 years where people are kind of exhausted and disappointed in the hype not living up to the expectations, maybe because the hype was so ambiguous. I think one of the big challenges with Agile, and I think this is where DA offers a legitimate solution, is I think most Agile trainings, as you refer to, focused kind of on an operational micro level. You know, we're going to talk about ceremonies, we're going to talk about roles, which is wonderful. I mean, you need your core team to be doing that. But as we all know, a system requires integration at all levels. And if senior management doesn't know what their tactical responsibility is, and your executive management doesn't know what the strategic orientation is, if there's not what you talk about, kind of a program perspective, and value stream begins long before because I'm going to be very blunt. No CEO, no board member could give a hoot about what's being trained in Agile on a micro level.
Agree.
They're like, they're saying, please leave me alone, backlog, okay. Can we talk about what's relevant to my daily function? And I think that's missing. And I think if we're gonna kind of do a sales pitch for Disciplined Agile, I think Disciplined Agile is the first Agile approach, and it's more than an Agile approach, that kind of breaks those boundaries and say, listen, this is something that has to be discussed at multiple levels, but also at a higher level. Would you agree? Is that kind of a good summation of what DAA has to offer?
Yeah, I do agree. And the thing, especially at the executive level or the leadership level, is understanding what's important at that higher level perspective. You're right. They don't care, and they shouldn't care about team level Agile at the
about
micro level.
Sprints or story points.
But is it that the perception and the reality is that it takes too long to get anything done? Is it that they have lack of visibility into what's going on? Do we have high levels of work and process with lots of context switching and just, again, all of the detriments that come from that, right? So we have some factors. We've got 7 factors that we typically start with at that higher level when we're looking at what types of improvements do you want to make? And then from that, it's taking a look at, I'll give you an example. If we were going to take a team that is already a team, right? We're not just forming a new team, right? And we're saying, okay, we're going to train you and have you use a new Agile way of working. Now, you see things that have been around forever. It's like, oh, you can get 400% improvement or 4,000% improvement. If you're getting that big of an improvement, you probably got some other challenges with your team, right? So let's just say, you've got a team.
Something's definitely gone awry, yeah.
Something's definitely gone wrong, right? So at the team level and their effectiveness in doing whatever it is that they're supposed to be doing, let's say you get 25% improvement, which would be pretty significant. I mean, if I were a manager or I was an executive at a large company, I'd be like, that's pretty good. Now, take a look at the work that they're doing. Again, the size of the scope, the project or whatever the construct might be. If we were to cut that in half so that they were able to do the first part and then the second part, assuming the second part was still worthy of doing. Now, would that increase time to market and get feedback quicker than maybe a team level improvement from a way of working?
Yeah.
And so it's looking up front is where so many of the opportunities lie for improvements.
I'm gonna put it in a different way because this resonates with me also in my consulting experience. I think we're always focused on the wrong efficiencies. I mean, I think there's plenty of potential also on an operational level, but I think the frustration on an operational level is they're like, if I don't get tactical support, I'm waiting. And my number one kind of constructively subversive statement I make, most projects don't fail to be in time and in budget because of the work that needs to be done. They fail to be in time and in budget because there's no integration with a tactical level. People don't know what decisions need to be made. They're uncertain of what the solution should be. And that's not just on a tactical level, but that's on a strategic level. And And that failure to integrate, and you must integrate, because I'm sorry, project teams only have, their pay grade is too low to be making some of the executive decisions, right? They don't have the information. And until we find, and if we're talking about value stream, we're not just talking about value stream, we're talking about decision stream as well, information stream.